aliens scanned a human warship. What they saw terrified them. Commander Threx, a high-ranking officer of the Zilari Armada, leaned over the holographic display of his flagship. "There," he said, pointing at a blip on the sensors. "A human vessel, alone, and strange. It doesn't match any of the schematics we have for their fleets." The rest of the bridge crew murmured. Humans were always unpredictable, but a single ship. Threx felt a tingle of excitement. "Prepare the scan. I want to know what we are dealing with." The human warship appeared at first glance unremarkable. Its hull was dull gray, marked with patches of worn paint and repair seams. The aliens snickered quietly. Their ships were elegant, symmetrical, shimmering with energy conduits that pulsed like veins. The human ship looked almost primitive. Lieutenant Kale, a young officer, leaned forward. "Sir, sensors show minimal shielding, weak propulsion, and barely functional weapon systems. It could be taken down by a single cruiser." Threx nodded slowly, but he did not laugh. Humans were dangerous. He had heard stories of their audacity. "Do not underestimate them," he said quietly. "Scan everything, every corner." The alien ship spread out in a slow, deliberate formation around the human vessel. Energy beams from their scanners brushed across its hull. At first, nothing unusual appeared. The humans seemed exposed, vulnerable. Inside the human ship, Captain Elias Mercer stood on the bridge, hands clasped behind his back. His crew moved calmly, methodically. No alarms sounded, no tension showed. They had been through worse than alien fleets. They didn't panic. "Status report," Elias said to his chief engineer, a tall man named Harlan. "All systems nominal," Harlan replied. "Shields are stable, weapons online. Sensors are tracking the alien fleet. They're scanning us right now, very thorough, it's almost flattering." Elias chuckled. "Let them look, let them see what they think is weakness." The alien scanners penetrated deeper, moving past the visible hull. The first oddity appeared. Hidden compartments blinked on their displays, small, irregular spaces inside the ship that should have been empty. But instead of life forms or cargo, they contained intricate machinery, humming quietly, almost invisible to normal sensors. Kale's eyes widened. "Sir, there are systems in the ship we didn't detect before. Automated weapons, repair modules." Threx leaned closer. "Expand the scan, every layer. Do not leave a single module unexamined." As the aliens probed, the human ship's quiet systems activated. Defensive drones emerged from hidden bays, moving so fast they were nearly invisible to alien scanners. The ship's AI rerouted energy flows silently, reinforcing weak points before the aliens could see them. Threx's display lit up with new data. His hands trembled slightly. "Impossible," he muttered. "How can they fit all this on a ship of that size?" The humans on their bridge watched the aliens carefully, not a single eye showing fear. They moved like predators, calm and patient, while the aliens scrambled to understand. "Sir," Kale said, voice tight, "they are changing configurations even while we scan. It's adapting to our sensors in real time." Threx's mind raced. He had encountered human warships before, but this was something different. A single ship, fully automated in parts, yet fully controlled by a small crew, capable of repair, defense, and offense simultaneously. And it wasn't aggressive yet. "Message the fleet," Threx ordered. "Prepare for potential engagement. Do not approach too closely." "We don't know what this vessel can do." Meanwhile, inside the human ship, Harlan spoke quietly. "Captain, they're scanning us more deeply than usual. They might try to disable us." Elias smiled. "Let them. They'll learn the hard way." The alien fleet continued its scans. Their sophisticated sensors could measure energy signatures, hull density, internal layouts, and even predict potential weapon outputs. Yet the more they scanned, the more confused they became. What should have been an open book, a small, outdated human ship, was instead a maze of cunning design. Hidden weapon nodes activated only for fractions of a second, enough to be detected by alien instruments, but disappearing before a proper reading could be taken. Repair systems ran silently, mending micro-damage before sensors could log it. Energy shields shifted frequencies constantly, making them appear weaker than they were. Kale's face was pale. "Sir, they're laughing at us." "Laughter?" Threx asked, confused. "Yes. The humans, their energy readings show almost mockery. They aren't panicked. They're amused. How is this possible?" Threx slammed his fist on the console. "They mock us. It is infuriating." At that moment, the alien admiral's voice echoed through the fleet's communications. "Do not engage, pull back and rescan. This is not what we expected." Inside the human ship, Elia's voice was calm as a whisper. "They're scanning. Let them scan. Let them be terrified. They won't leave until they understand what they face." The aliens tried again. They adjusted scanning angles, increased sensor power, and focused on the supposed weak points. And again, their scans produced strange readings. The human ship's life support systems, previously thought minimal, showed massive redundancy. Its engines, while appearing underpowered, could perform maneuvers no alien fleet could predict. Threx's mind raced. "This vessel, it's a nightmare. It shouldn't exist. It's alive in a way our technology can't comprehend." Kale swallowed hard. "Sir, it's more than alive. It's aware, it's anticipating us." The human crew on their bridge barely stirred. Elia's eyes scanned the holographic displays of the alien fleet. "They think they're in control," he murmured. "They aren't even close." The aliens began to back away, but fear had already spread. Their sensors still showed anomalies, modules that shouldn't exist, adaptive systems they couldn't predict, energy readings that fluctuated in impossible patterns. They had never encountered technology that seemed to think like a human. Threx tried to issue commands, but hesitation crept into every word. His fleet was powerful, but now they were unsure of what they faced. The human ship remained silent, calculating, patient, and terrifying in its simplicity. Elias turned to Harlan. "Make sure all systems remain hidden. Let them continue scanning. Curiosity will make them overconfident. Let them see the tip of the iceberg and not the whole mountain." Harlan nodded. "Understood, Captain, but how long can we hold this? If they realize the truth—" Elias shook his head slowly. "Let them come closer. If they learn now, they will retreat. Fear is more powerful than any weapon, and humans can use fear better than any alien fleet." The alien fleet hovered at the edge of the sector, scanning again and again. Each scan revealed new, impossible systems. They detected movement inside the ship where none should be. Automated turrets blinked and disappeared. Energy pulses flowed where no conduit existed. Threx's crew whispered in disbelief. "It's like the ship itself is alive, watching us." And in a way, it was. Humans had designed their warships not just for firepower, but for strategy. The ship could anticipate enemy moves, adapt in real time, and present an ever-changing face to its opponents. Every hidden system, every silent drone, every masked energy output was a lesson in patience and human cunning. The aliens felt it then. A deep, instinctive fear, not of death, but of being outsmarted by a species they had long underestimated. Threx stared at the blip on his holographic display. The human ship appeared simple, small, and weak, and yet he could feel it. The truth was terrifying. "Prepare the fleet for defensive formation," he ordered, voice tight. "We may not be able to touch this vessel, but we must try." Inside the human ship, Captain Elias smiled faintly. "Let them prepare. Let them learn the meaning of underestimating humans." Outside, the alien fleet hesitated. A single human ship, small, seemingly weak, and unmanned by thousands, had brought a galaxy's mightiest armada to a stop. And the worst was yet to come. The stars stretched silently around them, but the tension was electric. The aliens had scanned the ship. They had seen the truth. And the truth had terrified them. The human warship drifted, calm and patient. It was ready. and it would show the universe why humans were never to be underestimated. The alien fleet hovered at the edge of the sector, still shaken by the scan results of the human warship. Commander Threx's claws drummed on the console as he watched the ship's every movement, trying to anticipate what the humans would do next. "They are calm, too calm," whispered Kale, his eyes wide. "Sir, the ship systems are adaptive. Every scan we run, every analysis, it changes before we can finish reading it." Threx growled low. "Humans are unpredictable. That is their strength. But even so, this is something I have never seen." Inside the human ship, Captain Elias Mercer leaned against the rail of the bridge, watching the alien fleet like a hawk surveying prey. His crew moved quietly, efficiently. No one panicked. No alarms rang. It was almost casual, the way they prepared. "Sensor teams report the aliens are increasing scan intensity," said Lieutenant Vega, peering at the holographic displays. "They're probing deeper, sir. It's almost like they think they can force us to reveal ourselves." Elias smiled faintly. "Let them try. The more they look, the more mistakes they make. Their arrogance blinds them." Harlan, the chief engineer, frowned. "Captain, their sensors are sophisticated. If they find one of our hidden weapons bays," Elias waved a hand. "They won't. Not if we stay ahead of them. Humans think in ways they cannot predict. That is the difference." Back in the alien fleet, the Zalari Admiral, a massive being with carapace that glowed faintly under the starlight, barked orders. "Deploy scout ships. Find their weaknesses. They cannot be invincible." The scouts approached, moving faster than the main fleet, eager to confirm the humans' vulnerabilities. But as soon as they neared, the warship reacted, not aggressively but strategically. Hidden turrets emerged for fractions of a second, sending pulses of energy that disrupted alien sensors. Kale stared at the readings. "Sir, they're manipulating our scans. Every approach we make, they hide or move systems faster than we can track." Threx's claws tightened. "They are mocking us, Kale. They know we cannot predict them, but I will not let a single human ship humiliate this fleet. Prepare the main fleet. Full engagement, but keep distance." Meanwhile, inside the human ship, Elias directed the crew with calm efficiency. "Harlan, maintain sensor deception. Keep shields low in visible areas. Let them believe we are weak. Vega, monitor alien communications. Let's see how scared they are." Vega's screen flashed with alien chatter filled with panic and disbelief. They don't understand what they are facing," she whispered. Elias nodded. "Exactly. That is the advantage. They cannot fight what they cannot comprehend. And humans always adapt." The first contact occurred with a single Zalari scout ship. It darted close to the human vessel, intending to fire a probe beam. But the moment it entered the warship's calculated range, the scout's instruments went haywire. Sensors malfunctioned. Engines stuttered. Its hull cooled suddenly as if energy was being drawn from it, though nothing visible touched it. The scout spun uncontrollably before cutting off contact entirely. Kale's eyes widened. "Sir, they didn't even fire a weapon. That scout ship, it's disabled." Threx slammed his claw against the console. "Impossible. Our sensors detect no weapon activity, no physical interference." "How?" Elias leaned forward, barely touching the console, his calm presence radiating confidence. "They assume technology works only in predictable ways. Humans do not." The alien fleet hesitated. Their calculations could not account for the strange phenomena affecting their ships. Every attempt to probe or attack was met with subtle disruption, power fluctuations, sensor misreads, and adaptive countermeasures that seemed almost alive. Threx called out sharply, "All ships, maintain formation. Do not advance. Attempt to retreat if necessary." Kale turned to him, alarm clear on his face. "Sir, if we retreat now they may pursue, but if we attack our weapons could fail before even firing. This ship, it's a living nightmare." Threx's mandibles clicked nervously. "We need a solution." But what solution exists against a human warship? It defies logic. Inside the human ship, the crew prepared for the next phase. Sensors detected alien panic growing. The warship did not strike immediately, instead allowing the aliens to make the first moves and make mistakes. Humans have patience, Harlan muttered. Patience is a weapon they wield better than lasers or missiles. Elias smiled faintly. It is. Let them make their errors, then we act. A second Zalari scout approached, this one more cautious. It tried to maintain distance, sending a probing beam. But the human ship anticipated the trajectory and deployed a countermeasure. A small drone that altered the scout's magnetic field, making it drift uncontrollably. The aliens screamed in frustration as their instruments reported impossible readings. Energy fluxes, movement patterns, and sensor anomalies multiplied. The humans were not just hiding, they were controlling every encounter without firing a single shot. Threx could feel the panic spreading through his command staff. Deploy the fleet. Disable the human ship at all costs. Kale shook his head. Sir, even if we fire, our weapons may be countered before impact. They've anticipated possible attack vectors and prepared for them all. Elias watched the alien fleet moving clumsily, unaware of the traps set for them. Vega, prepare adaptive countermeasures, minimal energy signatures. Let's confuse them further. Vega's fingers danced across the console. Yes, Captain, shields shifting frequency. Weapons bays camouflaged, sensors masked. They won't know what hits them. The alien fleet tried to organize an attack formation, but every move seemed wrong. Ships drifted into interference zones, energy shields fluctuated unexpectedly, and communication lines scrambled. The human ship was not aggressive, but it controlled the battlefield completely. Sir, their ship is predicting us, Kale said. Every tactic we try, it's ready for it. They think faster than our AI calculations, faster than our fleet coordination. How is this possible? Threx's claws shook with anger and fear. We are facing humans, they always overreach, but this is beyond anything. The aliens tried retreating to a safe distance, but the human warship did not follow aggressively. Instead, it executed a slow, deliberate maneuver, exposing just enough systems to confuse and terrify the alien fleet. Inside, Elias observed the aliens panic. They think they understand us, he said softly. They do not, and that is their downfall. Harlan frowned. Captain, their ships are still operational. If they regroup, they might strike back. Elias' eyes narrowed. Perhaps, but humans are masters of perception. They fear what they cannot comprehend. Let them see fragments of our capabilities. That fear will do the rest. The alien admiral's voice echoed in the fleet. All ships, do not engage, retreat. This human vessel, it is. The words faltered. The aliens could not finish the sentence. Their sensors had scanned the human warship repeatedly, yet it remained a mystery, a perfect combination of cunning, adaptability, and deceptive simplicity. Kale turned to Threx. Sir, we are being outsmarted by a single human vessel, a single ship. Threx's mandibles clicked sharply. Yes, and I do not know how to counter it. Prepare all ships for a defensive perimeter, but we may already be too late. Inside the human warship, the crew moved with precision, calm, and efficiency. No fear, no panic, no mistakes. Their systems were fully adaptive, every hidden weapon, shield, and drone ready to deploy, but only if needed. For now, observation was enough. The humans controlled the situation entirely. Elias leaned back, eyes on the distant alien fleet. Humans have survived impossible odds for millennia, he said quietly. We do not win by brute force alone. We win by thinking, by adapting, and by showing our enemies the limits of their understanding. Harlan nodded. And they cannot understand us. That is terrifying to them. The alien fleet drifted, confused, panicked, and increasingly fearful. Every scan revealed more anomalies. Every maneuver backfired in unexpected ways. A single human warship had turned the strongest armada in this sector into a jittery, disorganized mass of fear. And yet the humans made no attack. They simply waited, patient, calm, and ready. Elias turned to his crew. Prepare for the next stage. When they finally make a move, we will show them exactly what it means to underestimate humans. The stars stretched endlessly around them, silent witnesses to a warship that was more than metal and circuits. It was strategy. It was patience. It was human ingenuity in motion, and it was terrifying to anyone who had thought humans weak. The aliens had scanned the ship. They had seen the truth, and the truth was spreading through their fleet like fire. Humans were not just soldiers. They were unpredictable. They were patient. They were clever. And a single warship commanded by a calm and brilliant crew could terrify an entire armada. The war had not yet begun, but the humans had already won in the minds of their enemies. And this was only the beginning. The alien fleet drifted in confusion, scattered across the sector. Commander Threx's mandibles clicked with frustration and fear. Every attempt to analyze the human warship had failed. Every maneuver had been anticipated or rendered irrelevant. Kale whispered, almost trembling, "Sir, I don't think we can win. Our weapons may never even reach them." Threx slammed a claw against the console. "We cannot retreat. That would bring dishonor, but advancing may bring destruction." He paused, staring at the distant gray shape of the human warship. It seemed so calm, so ordinary, yet the terror it inspired was unlike anything he had ever felt. Inside the human ship, Captain Elias Mercer leaned on the bridge railing, watching the alien fleet struggle against its own fear. "They are readying themselves for engagement," he said softly, "but their fear is already a weapon. Let's use it wisely." Lieutenant Vega studied the holographic display. "Captain, they're still trying to organize a coordinated strike. They don't understand that coordination without understanding us is useless." Elias nodded. "Exactly. Humans thrive on improvisation. Let them try their predictable formations. They'll fail before they reach us." Harlan, the chief engineer, tapped the console. "Captain, if we reveal more of our systems, they'll panic completely. But if we strike too soon," Elias smiled faintly, "then we strike at the perfect moment. Let them exhaust themselves first. Let fear do half our work." The first alien ships tried to advance. Their weapons systems fired pulses of energy designed to disable human shields, but the warship reacted with precision. Energy fields shifted frequency milliseconds before impact. Hidden drones disrupted targeting arrays. Every attack was nullified before it could land. Kale's claws twitched nervously. "Sir, their ship, it predicts our moves. Every shot we fire, every maneuver we make, it's already accounted for." Threx's voice was low, almost a growl. "Impossible. Our calculations, our AI, nothing can anticipate them so perfectly." From inside the human warship, Elias watched the alien fleet falter. "It's time," he said. The crew moved like a single organism. Sensors flickered, energy beams shifted, and hidden compartments slowly revealed themselves. Turrets emerged, not to fire at once, but to project holographic decoys and false energy signatures. The aliens could see movement where none existed, weapon systems where none were present. Confusion spread through the Zalari fleet like wildfire. "Captain," Vega whispered, "they're panicking. Their formations are breaking apart. They don't know which ships are real, which are decoys, and they're firing at shadows." Elias' calm voice carried across the bridge. "Good, that's exactly what we want. Keep them guessing. Let them fear us before we strike." Threx's claws tightened around the console. The fleet was in chaos. Communications were failing as interference patterns scrambled their signals. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Our fleet, it is disintegrating under a single human ship's control." Kale's voice was almost a hiss. "It's not control, sir, it's perception. The humans are manipulating our perception. Our fear is becoming real to us." The first real attack came only after hours of careful observation. The humans allowed a few alien ships to get close, to commit to an attack. Then, in a flawless display of strategy, the human warship acted. Energy beams fired in perfect arcs, hitting multiple alien vessels simultaneously, but not to destroy them. Instead, it disabled systems, scrambled sensors, and immobilized key engines. Ships spun helplessly in space, unable to coordinate or fire back. Threx's mandibles clicked sharply. No, that is impossible. They are targeting weak points we didn't even know existed. Inside, the human crew moved with calm efficiency. Turrets rotated, drones deployed, and energy fields shifted dynamically. Every system functioned in harmony, as if the ship itself was alive, anticipating the aliens' every thought. "Vega," Elias said, "prepare the final phase. Let them see the full scale, without realizing the cost to themselves." Vega's fingers flew over the console. Holographic projections expanded, showing phantom ships, moving weapon arrays, and energy pulses that made the human warship appear enormous, overwhelming, and unstoppable. The aliens did not know which targets were real and which were illusions. Every sensor output fed their fear. The aliens tried retreating, but the humans anticipated that as well. Hidden thrusters and cloaked drones cut off escape paths, forcing the fleet to slow or risk collision. Every step the aliens took, the humans had already calculated, already prepared. Kale's claws rattled as he backed away from the console. "Sir, they are everywhere. They control the battlefield without moving." Threx's voice was raw with panic. "We are being humiliated by a single human ship, and I cannot fight it." Inside the human ship, Captain Elias remained serene. "It is time," he said. "Let them see the truth." The human warship revealed its full capabilities, not all at once but in carefully measured steps. Hidden weapon bays opened, automated drones swarmed in perfect formation, and energy shields expanded to show the ship's true size. Every alien scan detected a vessel far larger, more complex, and far deadlier than they had imagined. The alien admiral, a proud and ruthless warrior, froze. "Impossible, that ship, it is enormous, intelligent it is." Threx's claws shook. "Alive, yes, alive in a way our technology cannot comprehend, and human." For the first time, fear in the alien fleet was total. Not fear of destruction, but fear of being outsmarted, of being made to look weak and foolish in front of the universe. They had underestimated humans. Every assumption they held about strength, tactics, and technology had been shattered by a single vessel. The humans, however, did not strike to annihilate. They demonstrated capability, power, and strategic genius. That alone was enough. The aliens realized that even a full assault would likely fail or come at terrible cost. "Retreat," the admiral bellowed, voice cracking. We cannot engage them." Ships spun away, retreating in disorder. Sensors detected that their systems were compromised, morale shattered. Kale looked to Threx, voice trembling. "Sir, they have won. Without firing a full salvo, they have won." Threx's claws dropped from the console. "Yes, humans, they win not by overwhelming force, but by ingenuity, strategy, and cunning. A single warship, and we have been humiliated." Inside the human warship, Elias nodded to his crew. "Well done. They will carry this lesson to the rest of their species, and it will make every encounter with humans more careful, more respectful." Harlan smiled faintly. "And terrifying. To them, it must seem like we are gods among mortals." Elias shook his head. "Not gods, humans. Clever, patient, and unafraid. That is what makes us dangerous. That is what makes us survive. That is what makes us feared." The alien fleet limped away, scattering across the sector. Every vessel carried a record of the encounter, a warning to every fleet in the galaxy. Humans were not weak. Humans were not to be underestimated, and a single human warship could terrify even the mightiest armada. As the stars stretched silently around them, the human crew remained calm. No celebrations, no bravado, just quiet pride. They had done what humans always did: survive, adapt, and triumph against impossible odds. Captain Elias looked at the display of the retreating fleet. "Let them remember this day," he said softly. "Let them remember that humans are unpredictable, patient, and clever. And that fear of humans is a powerful thing." Vega nodded. "They will tell stories. Across light years they will warn each other. Never underestimate humans." Elias smiled faintly. "And that is how humans win wars. Not by brute force alone, but by showing others the limits of their understanding. By demonstrating that intelligence, courage, and patience can terrify an entire armada." Harlan added quietly, "And sometimes that is more powerful than any weapon." The human warship moved forward, leaving the sector quiet again. Stars sparkled in the distance, indifferent to the fear, the strategy, and the lessons learned. But one thing was certain: the legend of this ship would spread across the galaxy. A single human warship, crewed by ordinary humans, had shown an alien fleet that humans were not to be underestimated. They had scanned it, they had tried to attack it, and they had been terrified, not by firepower but by ingenuity, patience, and the relentless cleverness that defined humanity. And the humans had won. The universe would never forget it.